Scholarships for Africans. That is today's topic, today's theme. And I'm going to talk today about scholarship opportunities for my colleagues in Africa. It is general for all people from developing countries, but I want to focus particularly to my colleagues in Africa to understand the basics, the steps, the procedures, and how can you be competitive to get these kind of scholarships, because there are thousands and thousands of scholarships each year, and these scholarships are given to people coming from developing countries, especially people from Africa. So that's why I call it Scholarship for Africans. And my name is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM from EBM Scholars, and I'm talking to you right from my home office in Belton, Missouri, United States of America. So before we continue, I ask you two things basically. First thing, please share this audio. Please share this audio to your social media, to your Facebook, Instagram, share whatever you want to share, WhatsApp, whatever, on emails, any kind of form of communication you can share. Whether you are looking for scholarship for yourself in particular or your colleague, you never know who is looking for this kind of scholarship information. Remember, information is power. Please share to other people. That is one request I'm asking from you. But the second request I'm asking from you is to make sure you subscribe to my channel. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/EBM Scholars. Or you can just go to the YouTube and just write EBM Scholars. You'll find a lot of information about scholarship opportunities. You'll find information about how to write and publish your book for free and sell your book on Amazon. You'll find opportunities about losing weight. You'll find opportunities about green card lottery. You'll find opportunities on so many things. Overall, it is a channel for more about education and how you succeed in your own life and dreams. So let's start. As I said, there are so many scholarship opportunities for people coming in developing countries, especially in Africa. So, number one thing you have to know is they give this scholarship not because they feel sympathy or they feel sorry for you because you're coming from Africa. Because this is the problem of many people. They think or they assume that because you are coming from Africa, it is a slam dunk, it is a guarantee for yourself to be given a scholarship. So some people, they take their style of thinking, they take the way on how they operate in their home country, and they take that to the next level arena, international arena of competition. So they think that they're applying for scholarship at Stanford, scholarship at London, whatever economy school, whatever you are applying to, which school you are applying, they apply, but they operate into their mind that I'm applying to that school, but they think locally. They don't even go to the Google search to find what will be the better way to better themselves into international competition. So that's why many people, they fail. Many people, they don't get a scholarship because they assume that they get a scholarship because just you are African. No one cares you are African. That is, I have to tell you. You are getting scholarship because, among other things, you have proper qualifications and you have shown the interest and you have shown what are you going to do if you get that kind of scholarship. So I'm putting this one from the start. Don't bring your sad stories in scholarship opportunities. Scholarship opportunities or scholarship application is not a therapy session to go to apply and start crying, starting explaining your problem that in primary school, I walked 5 kilometers to go to school. I didn't have water. No one cares about those stories. So just explain why should we give you scholarship, not because you walked 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers to go to school. So I'll give you the basics, that these are the procedures in general, what you have to do in order to apply, be competitive, and get scholarships. So there are a couple things, 7, 8 things which you need to have, you need to know, you need to use them in order to apply, in order to get a scholarship. Number one, it is your GPA, grade point average, or just I can simply say it is your results. And I'm talking about scholarship opportunities for masters and PhD graduate school at this particular audio. I'll have another audio just explaining about bachelor's or undergraduate education or undergraduate scholarship opportunities, but this is for graduate. So we want to find what's your GPA, what's your grade point average, what is your bachelor degrees result. We want to know what is your result. So there is first class, upper second, lower second, then there is pass and all other things. So that's why I usually tell people, when you go to the university, study as if you were sent by your home village, that you are going there on purposely to represent the entire village. Make sure that you get good GPA. Most of the scholarship, I didn't say all, most of the scholarship, the larger percent of the scholarship, they want people to have upper second class. That is not a guarantee you'll get a scholarship, but you get into the competition. You are going to be considered into the ring, then you start fighting. Remember, this is just the first stage to be invited to the table. It's just like to qualify for Champions League. Doesn't mean that after qualifying for Champions League you are going to win. You have to prepare. You have to play home and away games in order to compete. So just assume you need to have upper second class to get into the table first. There are people that have lower second class, but make sure your lower second is closer to upper second. It will be in a good position to a little bit compete, to be a little considered. I know there are some of the scholarships you are not even allowed to touch the application form if you don't have 3.5 out of 5 GPA. That means the first upper second class for those that are using 5.0 GPA scale. So there are those kind of scholarships, but there are some they will consider other factors. Remember, most of the countries in the Western world, they are looking into what they call the whole person perspective, the whole person. They don't just use one item. And here is when you have a problem of many people in Africa. Just because you have A flat, you have a first class, don't go above your head and you feel being that kind of a person, believe that you'll get a scholarship just because you have a first class. Who cares? Even if you have A flat, doesn't mean that it is a guarantee you'll be getting scholarship. Someone with upper second can get a scholarship before you, the person with a first class. They are going to consider so many other things. I'll give you all other things to be considered. They want, it's just like when we are going to look for the best players in the soccer, or we are going to look for the best player in NBA basketball. That's why we are going to talk about Michael Jordan. Jordan was able to do 3 shots, was able to do slam dunk, was able to do whatever point, anything. Like, you have to compete in all possible areas. That's why we say you are going to be the best. Not just you are good at one item, then we have to guarantee you the position or the scholarship. So, number one is your results. Make sure that you have good results. If you are at the university, study hard. If you have graduated, you don't have good results, I'm sorry for that. But if you are still at the university, you still have the chance to make sure that you get a good GPA. Number 2, all scholarships, 99.9% of all scholarships, they require the proof of the language proficiency. And under this context, I'm assuming you are going to study in English, your masters. I know there are people that are going to study masters in French or German or whatever, but I'm talking like specific people are going to study in English. If your mother tongue, if your national language in your home country is not, if your mother tongue is not English language, you will be required to take the English proficiency test. So don't come here with the stories that, I studied history, geography, and English language in my high school. Do you know I was the first class in my English? I got A in junior high school. I got B plus in high school. No one cares. Even if you studied linguistics in university, even if you studied Bachelor of English Language, no, it doesn't count. Majority of the scholarship, they need for you to prove you know English language. And there is only ways of knowing that you know English. There is only one way. The only way is to show the results. You have been tested by the owners of the language. And the owners of the English, they are Americans and the British. So there are two tests. There are other some, but there are two main tests. There is American version and there is a British version. American version, if you have ever been looking for scholarship, you will find something is called Test of English as a Foreign Language. That means it's TOEFL. If you go for the TOEFL exam or Test of English as a Foreign Language, that is the American test. It has 4 sections. Even the British has 4 sections: English writing, reading, listening, and speaking. If you go to the British version, it is called International English Language Testing System, IELTS. You can Google that. You can go to the YouTube. You can learn about that. So the British version is International English Language Testing System, and the American version is Test of English as a Foreign Language. You have to take one test out of these tests. British, if you convert into your local currency, but if you use in terms of US dollar, it is about 250 going to 300 US dollar. That is the British version. But if you do American, it is 200 US dollar to take the test. The British version, you are going to take it at the British Council. But if, depending on your home country, where your country is, you can just put the search for test center for TOEFL exam. Then you can find it and you can pay online, and you can go and take the test. So you must take the test. The American version, the TOEFL test, it is marked out of 120. They have 4 sections. Each section has a 30 score. So 30. There are 4 sections. It is 120. There is no a pass like you have to get this one, because each university, they decide whatever grade they want. Maybe one department can say you need to get 70, another department say 65, another one say 85, whatever it is. But it is better to have at least 85 and above. You'll be in a good position. Even if you get 70, 75, that is good, because many universities, they don't go below 70 or 75 into the competition wise of the results. The British version, International English Language Testing System, is marked out of 10, and most of the universities, you need to get 6.5 in order to apply and get in. What is the major difference? Because people are asking me all the time, which one should I do? Which one is easier? It is not easy, either of the two. Those exams are basic exams, and I'm usually getting frustrated when someone with a bachelor degree or master's degree is fearing the English test. These kind of tests, both whether it is TOEFL or IELTS, they are not there to test your intelligence. So some people, they are given simple questions: where do you want to go to live between town and the village? So they started thinking too much. They started thinking about what will be the good reason should I give. They don't care what is your reason, because the same test someone in high school, someone in junior high school is taking is the same test. Someone with a bachelor, someone with a master's, they're taking the same test. So the test is not there to test you your intelligence. It is there to test you your English proficiency. So it is very simple. They want to find you, how do you know about tense? How do you know about the proper grammar? You cannot say they comes, you have to say they come. So no matter what the reason you have, if you put the poor grammar, poor connotation, like you say they comes instead of they come, you are in trouble. If you say he comes instead of he comes, so those are the things they're going to look at. They are going to see the logical flow for ideas. They want to see, when you say first reason, you have 5 reasons why I want to live in the rural area. They want to see first, second, third, or firstly, second. In addition to that, they want to see those kind of salad on top of something. How can you put something just like make attractive? Play with the language. But one of the biggest problem many people they face here is on writing or even on talking, they put longer sentences. I can give the example for people who are speaking native of Swahili language. In Swahili language, it is easier to have a very long sentence, and you cannot have a problem. But in English, once you have a longer sentence, it is easier to have a problem. So you find someone is having one sentence with 5 lines. There is a big possibility of going to point to have a lot of grammatical mistakes. So go to the basics. If you studied English, there is subject, verb, object, subject, verb, complement, SVC, SVO, SVOO. Those are the simple grammar principles. So instead of starting like thinking too much, Just go. My name is Ernest Makulilo. Full stop. There is no grammatical mistake. I'm originally from Tanzania. Full stop. Currently, I live in the United States of America. Full stop. I studied political science for my bachelor and conflict resolution for my master's degree. Full stop. I went at this particular university. Full stop. I graduated with honor at this university on this particular day. On our graduation day, I was given this kind of award. Full stop. You cannot have the mistake. But if you start like, my name is Ernest Makulilo, I come from Kigoma, I live in America, you'll have, without a stop, you'll be like, just like, I don't know how to explain, you'll go off point, you'll have a lot of grammatical mistakes. So just find those are the basic tricks. So don't fear. And another place where people don't get good, they fail about this kind of test, on listening. Many people in Africa don't have opportunity to listen to a native speaker of English language. Wherever you go to the CNN, you go to the BBC, you see the video, you see the picture, someone is talking in English. Obviously, you'll understand it, but close your eyes, listen. Go to listen to the radio. Don't see person announcing. Don't see someone's mouth talking. Don't see the hand gestures. But just understand direct English coming to your ear. Those are the kind of practice you need to do. So practice makes perfect. So you can find someone in high school can get a better score than someone with a master's degree. So don't fear, go and take that test. That is, I'm done with that one. So you have to take the test. Without the test, I guarantee you, you will not get a scholarship. And 99% of all Africans who don't get a scholarship, if you ask them, have you ever taken the test? They will say no. Either they know it, there is a test, and they don't want to do because it is expensive, they say, but they use a lot of money using the internet just to study about politics, talking about these celebrities doing something nonsense, sometimes don't make sense. You are just going there using your GB of the internet, just going to look about Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona, but in the end, on the actual important things of your life, you don't invest to find the time to take those kind of tests. So you must take the English proficiency test. There is no sympathy, and you are not alone who is looking for these scholarships. For myself, for instance, I got 100,000 and 120,000 scholarship. They gave me? You have to show that you deserve. They don't give just free lunch on the plate like 100,000. No. While your government there is not giving you the loan, and someone else, a neighbor, is going to give you free money. No way. You have to prove yourself so much worthy and how you can be a positive contribution on this planet. So number 1 is GPA or results. Number 2 is English proficiency test. I talk a little bit in detail about that one because it's very important. So whether you apply in America, whether you apply in Canada, whether you apply in Europe, whether you apply in Australia, New Zealand, you'll end up doing these tests. Previously, some of the Asian countries, they like if you want to go to study in Japan, China, they didn't have this kind of test. But nowadays I see also they are going to put this as one of the requirement. So if you really want to take the to get the scholarship, take the test. If you want to go to heaven, die first. So simple like that. Those are the principles. So another way, there is what they call graduate examination entries. Another one. So this graduate exam, there are two kinds of exam, but this applies only if you want to study in America. The English proficiency doesn't matter where you are going to apply, but if you want specifically to come to the United States of America, there is graduate record exam, GRE, and there is GMAT, graduate management admission test. And obviously, I'm not talking about law school. There is LSAT and other medical. They have their own exams. But generally, there is GRE, graduate record exam, and there is GMAT. These are what we call matriculation exams. Some of the countries, they used to have matriculation exam if you want to go to study bachelor degree. So this exam, it has English, but it's different from the English of English proficiency. It is kind of very extensive, very difficult, very complicated. It is more about vocabularies. The words which you have never heard in your life, you will find it on those one. 2, you'll find there is math. It's just math for junior high school, form 2, form 3, those kind of mathematics. And then there is a part for writing essay. It's marked out of the percentile. For instance, GRE. How you have to do? You have to search on your country, but if you go to the website, it's called the www.its.org/GRE. You'll find that is the official website for GRE. Or just type GRE or GMAT. You'll find in your center on your country. The difference between the two exams is GRE is a graduate exam only for people going to pursue graduate programs which are not management related. So if you are going to study political science, if you are going to study international relations, if you are going to study sociology, you are going to study any course which is not management, you are not going to study masters in management, you are not going to study in MBA. So if you are going for MBA management style, those kind of programs, you are going to take the GMAT graduate management admission test. The fee for this exam is also around 200 too, just like 200. So that is you take is if you want to apply in the United States of America. So I will explain the difference between the rest of the world and America. It is a little bit expensive to apply in America. You will take the English test, you will pay for that, you will pay for GRE or GMAT. But also on top of that, in America they have application fee. Something in many countries in Europe they don't have, or the rest of the world, they don't have application fee. 99% of scholarships in Europe, Asia, those other countries, they don't have application fee. But US and Canada, they have application fee to each university. It ranges between $50 to $100 depending on which university you are applying. So my professional advice, usually I tell people, you are from Africa. Please don't waste your money to apply unless otherwise you have money and specifically your dream is to come to America. But otherwise, try to apply in Europe by taking just one exam. You'll avoid the cost for GRE, you'll avoid the cost for application fee. Because on top of that, in each test, there is another fee. Each copy of the certificate, copy of your results to be sent, there is another fee. You have to use it or you have to send. So apart from that, there is the recommendation letters. These are the professional confidential letters from your supervisor if you are working and from your former professors, from former teachers, to explain about your ability to take those kind of studies, your professional lifestyle, I can simply say. But overall, they want to know if you are able to undertaking masters or graduate studies, if you are PhD, something like that. Most of the cases, most of the application, they wanted 3 applications, or 3 recommendation letters. So if they say 3 and you are working, it is better to get 2 from your former professors and 1 from your supervisor if you are working very well with your supervisor or your employer. So it is better to have good relationship with the teachers while you are at the university, but also to make sure that your employer, your supervisor is good enough to give you a good recommendation. And this kind of recommendation, just don't get those recommendations like the heading above is concerned. Please, I know this Mr. So-and-so. From this time I taught him this development studies 101. He's a good student. I recommend him. Those are not kind of recommendation. You have to give a little bit of stake. Make sure that you are personalizing that kind of recommendation letter to make sure that why this scholarship is very important to you. To that student, I mean, like this person is applying for this scholarship. I taught this person. I know for this person for over 5 years now. He's very good into this one. This is his dream. I believe when he's going to take these studies, he'll be able to take this pass well, but also help others when he comes back. So those are the things overall in recommendation letters. Statement of purpose. This is to explain for you, is a letter, is just a statement. Other people call it motivational statement. Explain why should they give scholarship to you. Why are you applying to that particular university, to that particular program, and to that particular scholarship? So here is when I hear, I see, I read sad stories about Africa. People start explaining, my father, I'm orphan. Give me a break. You are 35 years old and you are telling me you are orphan? Those nonsense put away. Orphan is someone just under the age, like someone is minor. You are 30, you have a wife, you have kids, and you say you are orphan? Please, be serious on so many important things. Forget about being orphan. Forget about say that in primary school you were living in the village. Forget that you started using whatever kind of way, like you didn't have water. Those stories, unless otherwise you explain those stories and how you are going to study engineering to go and build a dam, build a well into those kind of areas, yes. But just don't go and explain your, this is my background. And this is just like one page statement. I studied, this is my background. And this is where I am. This is what I'm planning to do. If I come there, what I'm going to contribute to that particular department. If I finish, what I'm going to contribute to my community. You have to be precise, concrete, and show how are you going to be a positive person after graduating. So those are the things, but they don't want to hear sad stories. Please give me this scholarship because I deserve. I'm orphan, I got like this lower second class because on the final exam, my girlfriend dumped me. They don't want to hear those kind of stories. Please keep to yourself. This is not a therapy session. It is a very nasty, competitive, capitalist economy. They want the only survive for the fittest. The only strong lion will survive. But if you feel that you are just like a hyena, stay out of the pitch while the big lion and everything is just the big five animals there in the middle of the jungle and they just exercising their power. So that is number 6 item, statement of purpose. Then there is a resume. I'll make a record of another kind of something to explain more about resume, because this is the biggest problem of my colleagues in Africa. I had this problem while I was in secondary school, obviously, but after going to the university, I didn't have this particular problem. I know many people have this kind of problem. The problem is in a resume. I'll just give in a very broad just high level before I go to put it there. It's divided into 3 main sections. There is introduction part, there is main body, and there is conclusion. You don't need to write the word body, the word introduction. Many problem of people in Africa, because we are used into nepotism, because we are used to be, you get a job because you are from this particular church, because you are from this particular tribe, because you have this particular name. You are assuming that the world is running into that kind of favoritism, into that kind of tribalism, into that because you get this job because you are fellow someone from the same mosque or from the same church. It doesn't work that way. So don't start at the beginning. You start name, date of birth, marital status, religion. Who cares about those one? You are not given a scholarship because you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, or you are born again Christian, or you are going five prayers in a day because you are Muslim. They don't care. They don't give you a scholarship because you are born on this particular date. They don't give you a scholarship because, they don't give you a job because you are just married or you have kids. They don't care about that stories. Those don't put there because someone can give a judgment based on that. You are subjecting yourself into the death. Because if you are applying and you put the date of birth in 1960, you are old enough already, and you are applying for scholarship, I start judging. That's why on the first line, you put Ernest Boniface Makulilo, just a name, and you put the email address, and don't put those email addresses, whatever those kind of nowadays names into the names you are using into Instagram you want to use. If my name is Ernest Makulilo, my email a little bit has to be a little bit professional. ernestmakulilo@yahoo.com or ernest@makulilo@gmail.com. You have to find a little bit something which is related to your name, a little bit more professional. So it is your name, Ernest Boniface Makulilo, your email address, your phone number, full stop. Unless otherwise you can put a PO box if you want, or your address. But those are the only information you need to know about you. We don't want to hear how many kids you have. We don't want to hear you are born in Kericho. We don't want to hear you are born in Kibondo. We don't want to hear you are born in Ghana, into this particular village. We don't want to hear, we don't want to know. That is not going to be part of the scholarship. After that, that is an introduction. After that, we come to the body. So here there are 2 things. There is education and work experience. You choose which one you start first. You can start with education or you can start with work experience. It doesn't matter which way you want to use. Put those one. And on education, you have bachelor degree or you have master's degree. Why do you put your primary school education? Why do you put your O-level, ordinary secondary school, junior high school, high school? Don't put those education. If you have bachelor degree, only post-high school education is going to be put there. You are applying for masters. Why do I need to know about your primary school education? People don't care about that. We know you went to primary school. So those are the things. And into the last part, people are starting to put their hobbies. Swimming. How swimming is going to relate to you applying for international relations? Unless otherwise you're applying for a job to be a swimmer, cleaning the swimming pool, yes. But don't put your hobbies there. Unless otherwise your hobbies, for instance, is writing books and you are applying to become into English major, something like that, yes. Or your hobby is you are a blogger, you are doing blogging and you apply for journalism. Those are something a little bit you can just put that. But into conclusion, you can put the publication. You can put things like those are the things like some people they put conference attended, things like those one. But don't start putting unnecessary things like hobbies. Yeah. So that is something resume which I want to explain. So those are the important things, 7 important things I just mentioned. Highlight GPA or just your results, English proficiency test, GRE or GMAT for those who are applying to United States of America, application fees for people who are applying to the United States of America and Canada. Then there is the recommendation letter. Then there is a statement of purpose, and then there is your resume. Those are the things you need to have, you need to know. But number one thing, you have to get good results. Number 2, you must have English proficiency test. This I cannot help you. You need to have on your own to come to me in order to apply. I can give you the guidance if you take this kind of test. But otherwise, don't wait for scholarship which don't require the test. It might be a physics scholarship and you want to apply sociology. It doesn't work for you. If you want to compete at highest level. So those are the things. And why I said all this is just we are looking into what they call the whole person. Because if you have a good GPA, you have good English proficiency test results, but you are a recommender, your professor said this person used to do plagiarism, no matter how good you are, everything, they will deny your application. So one item can take you out. You must be good into every aspect. You have a good GPA, you have good English test, you have good recommendation letters, but you don't pay application fee, you are applying to America, you don't get admitted. Or you are writing into a statement of purpose that my dream was to come to America to go to Germany and they plan to stay over there. They don't give you because the purpose of the scholarship is for you to go back to your home country and try to help your country, not to stay in your home country. So even if you have a dream to go and stay into that particular country, keep to yourself. Not everything you have to give the orientation to everyone. So those are the things. But overall, I can just summarize or can give one important thing. Many people, they do one of the biggest mistake. They apply for scholarships. They do not know how many universities to apply. Someone is applying for 2 universities and you are waiting for scholarship. Please don't do that kind of mistake. I can give just one quick, simple example. Why Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, they are being able in 10 years in a row to score at least 40 goals in a calendar year. They have one particular secret, and the secret is make a lot of shots on target. So if you go, how many shots Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo have done into the calendar year, you'll find that they have done over 300-400 shots on target when they have 30 goals or 40 goals in a season. But if you go ask how many goals Iker Casillas or Daguerre or the goalkeeper for Manchester United has, you'll find he doesn't have a goal because his job is not to shoot into target to another opponent. Or if you go even to Modric, how many goals he has is just like a few goals because his main role is to distribute, not to score. So in order to get, it's a very simple mathematic. Just apply many universities. When I was applying for scholarships, I applied for masters 25 universities and I got 3 scholarships. Average of 7 to 8 scholarship I applied, I got 1. I applied for PhD, but I didn't go. In later, I did make a decision not to go. I applied for 15 universities and I got 2 scholarships. That means in 7.5 scholarship I applied, I got 1. So don't apply for 1 or 2. The mistake you do, if you apply, for instance, now you apply, remember you apply to go for the next academic year, which is in August. So if you apply to go for next year, for instance, today it is 20. This year it is 2018. You apply this year, you will go to start your studies in August 2019. So if you apply for 2 universities and you don't get selected, that means you have to apply 2019 to go to 2020 in August. So you are wasting over almost like 2 years of your life to wait for another scholarship. So it is better to apply at least 20, 15, 20 universities. That means if you don't get one, you get the second, you get 3, whatever. So that is what you have to do. So apply many universities, apply many scholarships. And don't be that person just closed-minded that I must study political science only. So if you study political science in your bachelor degree, it comes the masters in leadership, it comes a masters in community development, it comes the master in public administration or public policy, or masters in human rights, or masters in conflict resolution. Be open-minded to apply to many universities. Once you get selected, once you get a scholarship, you'll make a decision. Which country, which program, how much money do I get? And what is my dream? Then you can make a decision after getting the scholarship. Don't make that decision even before you applied that, my dream is just to go to London. You will not get it, and you will wait for 5 years, and London you'll just end up just to see when Chelsea is playing against Arsenal in London, or West Ham is playing Tottenham. You'll just see that is the only London you will see on the TV. But otherwise, be serious, apply as many opportunities as possible. Be like Cristiano Ronaldo to apply. Be like Lionel Messi to score, to shoot so many shots on target to get opportunity to score a goal. So that is how it works, and that's how I go to scholarship, and that's everybody can get a scholarship. So scholarship for Africans. Don't wait for the sympathy. Be competitive all the time. Make sure that you compete at the highest possible situation. There are so many people. Entire Africa is 1.2 billion people in Africa. The population of India is 1.3 billion. Population of China is 1.4 billion. So just assume Africa, you are fighting to want to apply. How many people in India will be applying? How many people in China they want the same scholarship? And for your news, for the information, if you didn't know, China and India are the leading countries into getting good score into this kind of subject like TOEFL, GRE, GMAT. They get good results on that because they prepare. They want to make sure that they're the best to compete. How many people in Brazil they want to get a scholarship? How many people in Nigeria? They have 185 million people. They want to get a scholarship. So once you want to apply, don't do a mistake. Just, okay, I'm applying, put your tribe, compete. Make sure that you find every possible way why people don't get a scholarship and avoid all those mistakes. You'll be in a good position to apply and get a scholarship. Why am I insisting about scholarship? There are so many good things about scholarship. Apart from education, you will be able to see what other countries, other culture, how do other people live. Remember, traveling is another way of experiencing life. You are studying architecture. You will see the buildings of other countries, not just to study into paperwork. You will see, you will live in those countries. So you'll be able to see, to experience. So there are so many good things, but above all, they pay for your education. You are paid to go to study. It's not a job. You are just paid for studying for your own benefit. I will do that again if I want to do. So those are the things you need to consider once you want to apply. Everyone wants a scholarship. So apply, compete. So that is what I want to talk about scholarship for Africans. And I'm sorry, it is a very long audio, but I wanted to explain and break everything down to make sure that I answer every single question for you. There is the same audio like this one in Swahili, but this I put in English for everyone in Africa to experience, to know these kind of things. If you have any question, you can check me on my WhatsApp. And don't call, just send a WhatsApp message and I'll get back to you. My number is +1 619 228 4381. Again, +1 619 228 4381. Don't call. If you call, I block you. Just send a text, WhatsApp message. I will be able to respond whenever I get a moment. But one last favor, I repeat, please share this audio into your social media and remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate it, and all the best in your applications for scholarship opportunities. And I'm sure you are going to reach your dreams and get a high quality education paid 100% by other countries or other institutes. Thank you and goodbye again. This is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM from EBM Scholars here in Missouri, United States of America. Goodbye.